Welcome to the Morphin Grid. I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
This is a podcast where we watch an episode of Power Rangers and then we talk about it.
This week we're going to be watching the first episode of Power Rangers entitled Day of the Dumpster. Its original air date was August 28th, 1993.
Now we're going to pause the podcast, we're going to go watch the episode, and then we're going to come back and we will discuss in some fashion what happened. It's Morphin time. Okay, everybody, we are back. So we watched the first episode of Power Rangers a week ago, and then we recorded an episode of the Morphin Grid that was really good. I promise you. Unfortunately, because the way our setup works or doesn't work in a lot of ways, if Josh's laptop is plugged in while we're recording, it screws up all of the audio going in through the USB mics and makes it unlistenable. So the first part of the podcast, the intro, which you just heard, went off without a hitch. And then we plugged it in just to charge it up a little bit while we were watching, and then just we didn't unplug it. And then it just hitches like dominoes, hitches everywhere. And so now we're recording it again once the wound has healed a little, because it was a really good episode.
Maybe for you.
Right. I'm forcing Josh to do
over
this.
the Morphin Grid as a thing at this point.
I'm forcing him to do this because
I only had 2 points written down that I really wanted to make. I can still make them, but your genuine reaction is gone.
It's gone. I know. All right, so I don't have my phone near me. Well,
it's the first episode of Power Rangers. You've seen it 25 to 600 times by now.
Including all the times I watched it on the VHS that was just Day of the Dumpster. Yeah, I probably watched it 100 times.
Right.
No, it was Day of the Dumpster and the Bones episode. So it was 1 and 2, I believe. Okay, so let's start at the beginning again. This is
WrestleMania 27, where it all begins again?
Where it all begins again. Russellmania. A bunch of guys named Russell going crazy. Okay, so I don't even know where to go.
Here's how the episode starts. Is the brief introduction of all the guys, all of Power Rangers.
Right, okay, so the fact that we just did this is going to make this a little stiff. We're gonna try to make it good. Or not. Maybe Josh will try to sabotage this so we never have to do it again. We'll see.
I don't know.
Anyway, so what happens is Rita is freed from a meteor. She's in a space dumpster on a meteor.
Which they never say.
I swear to God it was on the moon until a recent watching of it. When I was like, nope, that's not the moon.
I'm pretty sure you can see the moon in the background.
That's what cued it.
Yeah.
That's what gave it away. So no, scratch this. This is boring. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the stuff about Power Rangers that we like. Okay?
Yeah.
About this first episode.
Let's do it.
All right? Instead of just going over the episode, pretty much for the rest of the series, we're going to describe the episode in detail. You know, talk about what we like, talk about what we didn't like. Hopefully there's more like than not like. For this episode, we're just going to talk about Power Rangers in a more freeform way. Because, look, you've seen the episode. If you're watching the Morphin Grid, you've seen Day of the Dumpster. If not, it's on Netflix. Go watch it again. If not, if you don't have Netflix, it's on YouTube. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah. It's not going to be hard to find on the internet.
No.
It's at least on, like, Dailymotion.
Right.
Or some other free video watching software.
Yeah, you can just find it.
Website,
and if you
software.
can't find it through legal means, I'm sure you can find it through illegal means. But you shouldn't.
But don't. Because that's bad.
But look, if you have to watch the Power Rangers, who am I to tell you not to?
We're gonna get shut down by the government.
It's also on a dozen DVDs. You can buy any of those. Josh and I have we both have the collection that's it's all of Mighty Morphin, and then it also came with the next 4 seasons, which is Zeo, Turbo, In Space, and Lost Galaxy, which I really should watch soon.
Yeah. In Space was so good, though.
In Space was so good. I know it's only downhill.
And it's the same thing where in Zeo, like, the last episode could be the end of Power Rangers.
Right.
Because it ended, like, it wrapped everything up. In Space definitely wrapped everything up.
Yeah, they
Lost Galaxy is a whole new Power Rangers.
New set of Power Rangers. Like, the way In Space ends is you would think that there would be no Power Rangers anymore. Right. Or no need for Power Rangers.
But where's the money in no Power Rangers?
Nowhere. There
isn't any money.
Okay, so let's talk about our Power Rangers first. Okay, you got Jason. You're here. Okay, I'm gonna get a little inside baseball for a second. There's a trope in writing called the five-man band. Five-man band is as follows: the hero, the Lancer, the smart guy, the big guy, and the chick. Okay.
Isn't there like the dragon? Isn't that?
That's the five bad bands.
Oh, okay.
That's your big bad, your dragon, the brute, the evil genius, and the dark chick.
Do we have that?
Not until In Space with the Psycho Rangers.
Well,
we're talking with like Rita and them?
Yeah, I don't think we do.
I mean, let me do the Power Rangers. Let's do the Power Rangers first, then we'll do the bad guys.
Okay, all right.
And then I'm pretty sure we can get it together out of that.
I don't know if we can get a brute. Oh, maybe. Let's talk about it when we get there.
So your hero is Jason. Jason Lee Scott, if I'm remembering that correctly. Yes. Jason Lee Scott, who is bold and powerful, according to Zordon.
I hope you remembered all those, because I don't.
I remember most of them. I'm pretty sure I got them all. So we got... He's the hero. He's your Red Ranger. Tyrannosaurus. Tyrannosaurus! He's so amped to be a Tyrannosaurus.
Wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
1,000% yes.
So instantly relatable.
Yeah. He's also... He's almost a stereotypically good guy. Like, when they introduce all the characters, they're... Like, Jason and Zach are sparring, and then Kimberly and Trini are...
Kimberly is on the balance beam.
Kimberly's on the balance beam because she's a gymnast.
Trini is posturing.
Is doing katas. I think that's a kata. I didn't take karate. We were poor. So I watched Power Rangers instead of taking karate.
One of the bonus features is the White Ranger kata.
I had that on a VHS when I was a kid.
I watched it, and it's like for kids, and it's Tommy. Jason David Frank is Tommy. And he's like, hey, later. Not everyone's going to be able to do that. Like, the third move is a split, like a full split. And I was like, nope.
He's weeding out the garbage. He's like, all right, look, not everybody's going to do it. And it splits, and he's like, no, I meant it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so then Billy comes in, and Billy's the nerdiest 90s kid you can find. And Jason is just automatic. Like, they're already friends with him, and Jason's like a super good guy. And which brings up the headband thing that I didn't know, that blew my mind, and we're just gonna rip this Band-Aid right off.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Okay. Josh pointed out.
Let me say
you
it.
say it.
Because I saw it.
And I had no idea. Didn't even notice it.
Okay, so it introduces all the characters really casually at the beginning by just showing them doing their own thing. And they casually, like, oh, good spar, Zach. Thanks, Jason. So you get their names.
So, yeah, you get their names out. Like, way to go, Kimberly. Thanks, Trini.
And then Billy comes in, and I think one of them's like, oh, Billy, over here.
Yeah, it's Zach, I believe.
But Billy is a nerd.
Right. And that's not like, we're not being like I don't play football,
no,
right? We're not being like, what a nerd, like, because look, we're doing a podcast about Power Rangers.
Yeah.
All right. Like,
who are we to judge who's a nerd and who's not a nerd?
But we're saying nerd in the sense that, like, he's the way you can classify his character.
Yeah, he's a book guy.
Yeah.
He's the guy who's gonna go home and study on a Friday night.
He's gonna make your inventions, and he's gonna he's the smart guy.
He works for Google.
Right.
All right. But he comes in. He's dressed in full karate gi over, like, dress pants and a button-down shirt. And he's got this goofy headband on because he's, it's for his first karate class, and karate guys wear headbands. And Jason and Zach were just sparring in regular gym clothes, like a tank top and Zubas.
Zubas for Zach, because, look, it's the early 90s. You can't do anything about it.
But then... I don't know if it was just a cut. I don't remember. It was like
there kind of is, yeah.
They just cut to the karate class. Well, there's a Bulk and Skull thing we could talk about in a second if you want.
Yes.
Because that sets up the karate class.
Right.
But they go to the karate class, and Billy just can't understand how to turn 180 degrees while also lifting his fist. I don't know. But Jason, who was just sparring in the clothes that he's still wearing, also has now a red headband on because he didn't want Billy to feel out of place and like a dweeb.
Right.
He just wanted him to be comfortable in that class, and that's awesome. I'm getting chills again talking about it.
See, now you're back in. So, yeah, I didn't notice that. And Josh pointed out to me, and there was this really fun moment where I wasn't misty, but, like, I had chills. It was great because I didn't notice that, and I think that really speaks to who Jason is.
Yeah.
In that he's like, this is my friend, and he's not great at karate.
Yeah, he already feels uncomfortable. Because if I can pull him in a little more.
Because they show it's like, oh, Billy has all the smart stuff down about karate, all the memorizing stuff you need. It's just getting your body to work with that. Because there's like, what is karate about? And he's like, discipline, caring, respect, and something else.
Yeah, he's done his homework.
And he came prepared. he has notes. But when it comes to the actual karate, he just can't pull it off.
Right.
Which is sad. A little bit. But I mean, you need one guy who's not good at it, right? Like,
yeah,
you just need him. So that's who Jason is, the kind of person who will wear a dumb headband to make his friend look less dumb.
Yeah.
So that's Jason. That's your hero. That's the guy that is gonna run your Megazord when no one else can. That's your leader. So then the next person in the 5-man band is the Lancer, who I'm gonna put on Zach.
Put it on Billy because he uses the lance.
Well, not yet. He doesn't.
Oh, spoilers!
Spoiler, cutting that out. No. So I'm gonna put Zach in the Lancer, and
describe what the Lancer is.
The Lancer is
for our listeners.
For our listeners, because I know that you already know this.
I've probably read the whole page on TV Tropes.
Yep, I've just been there a lot because. Because TV Tropes is a black hole. The Lancer is basically your hero in another context. He's the opposite of your hero. So, like, let's say your hero is like, D&D terms might be a bit obtuse. Nerdy. I said obtuse, but
nerd.
But yeah, it's like if your hero is a paladin. Your Lancer's going to be like a ranger. It's going to be like still a good guy, but the opposite. So like if your hero is John Cena, your Lancer is CM Punk.
Okay.
It's if you like wrestling. If you don't know what this means, basically it's just sort of the opposite. He does good things, but a different way than your hero.
I'll put it in terms that everyone will understand. If your hero is Leonardo, your Lancer is Raphael.
Bingo.
Okay.
That's a 4 temperament
but
cast.
In terms of the relationship of those two,
yes,
is that
exactly? Yeah. So if your hero's a good
also it's 5 because of Splinter.
Splinter is the mentor. All right,
whatever.
All right.
Then there's Metalhead and whatever.
Metalhead's a robot.
He's the gunner.
He's in one episode.
He's in more of the new one, I think.
Well, yeah, but he's in one episode of the 88 series.
Anyway. I'm sorry, I ruined everything.
88, 86?
87.
87, if you average the two. By Lancer, in Zach's specific case, is Jason's your karate guy. He's, going to do what's right. He's going to wear a dumb headband to make his friends feel good. Zach is going to make quips and dance at your enemies.
Right.
But still getting similar effects,
He's still a good human being. But he's also snarky.
He's a little snarkier. He's the one who, when duty calls, he's gonna go, "No, see you later, duty."
It's been real, but we gotta go.
He's also the black guy, which in the early '90s means he's cooler than all of your other friends.
Right, he's got a soul.
That might be a little farther.
That might be a little too far.
But he has a fighting dance style.
Yeah, hip hop keto.
Hip hop keto. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
That's objectively pretty cool. So then your smart guy, obviously Billy, in the second episode, he creates wireless communicators that are mounted to your wrist that also can teleport.
They teleport because of a bug, I think.
Yeah, it interfered.
We'll have to get to that episode because I don't quite remember, but
yeah,
like the teleportation is a side effect of the communicator.
Your smart guy, your smart guy is really self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Also, like Billy is like when they first meet Alpha, he's like a fully functional sentient automaton. I've never seen anything like this, but like he's not worried about it.
Yeah, he just wants to study it.
He's like, can I pop the hood, like see what's under there, like the.
I don't know what the.
I had a point.
Okay.
I had a point about Billy.
He's the smart guy.
He's just like he's smart.
That's your point.
It's really self-explanatory. Fun fact. In the I'm wiggling my finger.
Yeah, they can't hear that.
Like I have a smart fact. In the Zeo Ranger, which is what Power Rangers is based on, which we never explained in this one.
That's fine. Everybody basically knows
Power
that.
Rangers is based on a Japanese series called. It's a Super Sentai series. It's people in suits get weapons, fight monsters in robots. Boom.
Right.
The one that the Power Rangers is based on is called Zeo Ranger, or Zio Ranger.
I don't know.
One or the other.
Yeah.
And in that version, the Black Ranger is the smart guy, and the
Really?
Blue Ranger is the snarky comedian guy. Yeah. But Walter Jones, who plays Zach, thought it was important that the black guy be the Black Ranger, so that way black kids would immediately always be able to identify. Yeah. So take that. Anyone who says, "Oh, did you ever notice how the black guy and the Asian guy aren't real dinosaurs?"
Right.
Guess what? In the Japanese version, they're all Japanese. So So you're looking for racism where there really isn't any. But I think that's really cool that he specifically said, like, I want you to be able to identify me, so they always have someone that they can identify with. Like, because if you jump into an episode knowing that there's one of the characters is black and it's the Blue Ranger,
Right.
Especially back then, before like you could do other things with Power Rangers, like that might get a little confusing to kids.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's like 1,000 episodes of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and about half of them blur into my brain because they're all the same episode to me. So I can only imagine what I was like when I was 4 watching it.
Right.
You know, like...
And, like, the thing with Zach being the Black Ranger, there's also, the Asian girl's the Yellow Ranger, which is not any kind of a thing that I picked up on when I was a kid.
No, never. Like
there might have been the one time where it was like, he's a black guy, so he's the Black Ranger. But I never said it in a derogatory way, if I said it at all.
I don't even think I noticed it, to be completely honest. And if I did, it was something that left such a small impression,
right,
that I don't remember thinking it then.
But what kid in 1992, 93?
93, August 28th, 1993.
Okay, what kid in 1993 is like, oh, Asian people are yellow?
Right, like, I mean, that's more like jaded grunge teenagers being, anyway...
I just wanted to get that out of the way. That racism thing is outplayed and stupid.
Right, and we'll get more to Trini in a minute.
Yeah.
But back to Billy.
Yes.
I don't think I have anything else to say about him being the smart guy.
That's
Do you have anything you want to add? Like,
he is the smart guy. He's so smart that he made their communicators teleport them by accident.
And he understood. And like as soon as he landed in the in the command center, he started playing around with stuff.
Right.
Like, I don't know if you know. Like,
yeah. Like he's looking at Alpha like, oh man,
I'm gonna take you apart.
Yeah.
One of these days, you're not gonna be looking. I'm gonna see what makes Alpha 5 tick. So that's your smart guy. Your big guy, which is your fighter, your bruiser, that's Trini, because Trini is the most dangerous non-Jason fighter.
Yeah,
She's a black belt already. She's a karate
the other
person.
one trained in a real martial art.
Yeah, right. Like, and I think that kind of, like, traditionally your big guy is like more stoic, and, and
she definitely
is. Also, the Yellow Ranger is a bruiser when they fight. Like, if you watch, that's the one that's more apt to like take a putty down in less moves. Instead of like kicking it around for a little while, it's like it's gonna kick it in the chest a couple times until it stops getting up.
Yeah.
In Zeo Ranger, the Yellow Ranger is a man.
Yes. Which you could very obviously tell
in the Sentai footage that they use.
Because even again though, as a kid,
I never picked
the
up
only
on it.
thing I realized is Trini doesn't have a skirt on. It's probably because she's not as girly as Kimberly.
Right, and
that was the end of that.
Right, and that's why. Like I think that's why they picked Trini to be yellow instead of pink. You know, because Amy Jo Johnson is a gymnast. She's not going to be doing she just can't replicate, kind of match styles as well.
Right.
Whereas, if you kind of set up to Trini is going to she's the one who stands up to Bulk and Skull in the first place.
They both do.
They both do, but you could tell that Trini was like,
yeah,
you want to step? You want to dance, Bulk, huh? Plus she flipped Bulk.
Right. So there you go.
That
in itself speaks volumes.
Yeah. And then another thing I like about Trini, this doesn't really have anything to do with her being the big guy, but she is Billy's translator. When Billy's whenever he spits out any garbage, they just look at Trini, and then she just explains it.
Yeah.
We had an example last time, but I don't remember it.
I know that Zordon's he talks about morphing, and somebody, probably Kimberly, is like, morphing?
And Billy's metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis.
And then Billy's and Trini says changing or transform.
She's that means to change.
Yeah.
She's just a dictionary for Billy.
She's also very smart.
But she knows how to talk at a normal
but
person's
she's not
level.
Just smart.
Yeah.
So she has built-in layers right there, whereas Jason kind of doesn't.
Jason's a little one-dimensional.
With the friendship thing, I didn't notice that. That's a thing you got to dig for, which I like.
Yeah. I'm hoping I can pick something like that out of every episode, but I don't know how much Power Rangers is going to play along with me for that.
We'll see.
I'm going to watch them all very, very closely now, though, after I saw that.
Me too. We'll watch a little more closely now. So yeah, Trini's she's best fighter, big guy. I think that's pretty much covers her. Then lastly is the first love of my life.
The chick.
The chick. Which traditionally the chick is the useless one. The one that just kind of tags along and is there. And the only reason Kimberly fits the chick is because her defining characteristic is how dang pretty she is.
Right.
She's also a great gymnast, and she's really good at fighting in a gymnastic style. So she's not just the chick. She's not dead weight.
Right.
But she's also not the big guy or the smart guy or the Lancer or the hero,
She's, I don't know. The term the chick fits because she's your pretty girl. She's your girly girl.
Yeah, exactly. She's the one who's going to be those shoes, really?
Right, well, she's the one, after their first fight is cutting to the end a little bit, but...
Who cares? You've seen Power Rangers. You know how it
goes. She's I don't know. My hair gets all tangled up in the helmet.
The outfits are cool and all.
Yeah.
But my hair gets a little tangled up in the helmet. I don't think I can do it.
Not!
But yeah, so she is classified as a chick, but the thing that's kind of really progressive about Power Rangers is how much they don't care about the labels that they give them.
Yes.
They put these characters in a spot, and then they go, but that's not all. Kimberly's a chick, and she's, she jumps into the Megazord, and she's like, nice stereo.
Nice stereo. She doesn't even care, everyone else is Billy here, all systems go. Trini here, Zach here. All Kimberly says is, hey, nice stereo.
Nice stereo. That's the first thing she knows is how sweet her ride is.
Right.
And that has a merit all its own, which will probably end up helping them out later. I'm almost sure of it.
Let's keep that in the back of the head.
But it's sort of how Zach he's a dancer, but he's not. I don't know. He's the dancer. He's the funny guy.
Yeah.
But he's more than that. He's also a good fighter, and he's also going to stick up for his friends, and he's also the one that's going to tell the giant floating head to go pound snow. There's layers to every character.
Right.
And that's kind of really impressive considering it's the 90s and the only reason Power Rangers is progressive now because it has a lot to build on.
Right.
But like, if you watch, there's a lot of kids shows that are just like, hey kid, come here, I'm gonna spoon feed you this information. Like, this guy's the hero. He wears red. Red is our hero color.
Right.
Here's the nerd. He wears glasses and suspenders. I mean, Billy does. Billy wears overalls in this episode.
He wears overalls. Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It's not done in a way that's like talking down. It's in a way that's like including kids. It's like, oh,
yeah,
you're not good at. You're a smart kid. Like you like math. You have Billy. Here's your guy. Like,
yeah.
you know, oh, you're a girl, but you're not a girly girl. Here's Trini. Oh, you're a girl, but you are a girly girl.
Here's Kimberly.
Here's Kimberly. You know, like, there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
And it's, like, I don't know, it's impressive.
And all 5 of them are superheroes.
Right,
there is a superhero in the show that every human being can relate to at least one of them.
Right, exactly. And then, like, yeah, they're all superheroes. It's like, you're all different in these ways. And then you morph, and you're all bad dudes. Like,
right.
You're gonna drive dinosaur robots around to beat up monsters.
Yeah.
Like, Kimberly still has a giant robot. How many pterodactyl robots do you have? None. You know, like.
Makes me sad I don't have any.
I know. I'd be the Pink Ranger. I don't care.
Yeah.
Done.
I wouldn't even think twice. They'd be like, oh, Zordon would be like, Josh, you're patient and wise. I think that's the Blue Ranger.
That's the Blue Ranger. Oh, right. All right, so we have Jason, who is bold and powerful. Zach, who is clever and brave. Trini, who is fearless and agile. She is agile. She is agile. Just one. Not enough to constitute a rack. Billy is patient and wise. And Kimberly is graceful and smart.
Yes.
So those are their characteristics that Zordon tells them that they are.
It's basically, well, they don't do a great job of it. Zordon pretty much tells them, these are the attributes of the Power Rangers. This is why you were chosen, is because you are these things.
Right.
It's not presented in a way that makes it seem like that.
You kind of have to dig for it. It seems like he's like, hey, 5 rando teenagers. I mean, first he doesn't even say teenagers. In the opening credits, it's 5 teenagers with attitude, right?
Yes.
Wrong. Yes, it's right.
That is what it is in the credits. That statement was true.
But never again.
Only in the credits.
Only in the credits. It's because he says we need 5 overbearing and over-emotional humans.
He means teenagers, but he doesn't know the word teenagers.
But because he's been trapped in a time warp for 10,000 years.
But Alpha's been around the whole time.
Yeah, Alpha, he knows what teenagers are. And he hates them. He hates teenagers. They pick these 5 appropriately color-coded teenagers, and he says you're these characteristics.
Yeah, the real reason they were chosen is because their wardrobes are all the right color.
And they all know each other, and kids are more likely to accept fighting monsters. Actually, I don't believe that. I feel like he should have chosen adults with jobs who could, like, handle it better. Like, this is a way to seriously screw up some kids.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that said, if, you know, at the age of 14, he's like, hey, I need you to be a Red Ranger, Jake. I'd be like, dude.
You got it,
I'm in. Let me just drop out of school right now and be a full-time Ranger. Like, yeah, but, like, if you dig a little bit, it kind of seems like he's like, the Red Ranger is bold and powerful, and so are you, Jason, and that's why you're the Red Ranger.
Right.
You kind of have to make that conclusion yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
We didn't mention it yet in this recording of this episode, which is like the 3rd or 4th time
we've recorded time we've tried it.
But this episode is super fast-paced, because they have 20 minutes.
It's like 22, 23 minutes.
The YouTube video we just watched was 2013 or something.
Did that have the credits at the end?
Maybe it didn't. I don't know.
But anyway. I can't imagine 2 minutes of credits either.
Right.
Either way.
So yeah, they have 20 to 22 minutes to cram all of the backstory of Power Rangers.
A whole universe into 20 minutes. You know, you need to introduce.
So, I mean, that's why he's just like, Jason, bold and powerful. You will be the Red Ranger.
Right. He's basically saying, we'll flesh this out over the next couple episodes. But right now, you got a monster. You know, Goldar's attacking the city, you know? Like, or he's about to. Basically, there's evil afoot, and you need to stop it. So that's that.
So, let's talk about the bad guys.
Bad guys? Okay. Do you want to do it in terms of the 5 bad band?
Let's see if we can.
So you got your big bad, who's
currently Rita.
Rita Repulsa.
There's a million of them in Power Rangers.
Eventually there's,
But right now,
it's
your
just
big bad
Rita.
is Rita.
Rita Repulsa. the space witch from the dumpster, who celebrates being freed from a dumpster by destroying the nearest planet.
Right.
This has got to be old hat to her.
Which is weird. When she's released from the dumpster in this episode, she's like, "Oh, it's time for my coming out party. I better destroy the nearest planet."
Yeah, she's like, "That's when I destroy the nearest planet."
But in the opening credits, she doesn't want to destroy her. She wants to conquer it.
Yeah. I mean...
What does she want me to believe? What do I...
I think... I don't know. Let's call up Haim Saban.
He doesn't even know.
Oh, not anymore.
He doesn't know what he's trying to say.
If he did then, he doesn't anymore.
Seen interviews with that guy?
Yeah, they're a little... I understand
Although
why...
I owe him one childhood.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I have a tattoo. Josh and I have matching tattoos of a Power Ranger lightning bolt on one of our knuckles. So,
yep.
That's us in a nutshell, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Rita's our big bad. She's a space witch. She's super powerful. She is in charge because they do whatever she says. Like they're never like, "Oh, what do you think we should?" They're like, if they get snarky, she's like, I will kill you. I will send you. I will throw you to earth.
I'll put you back in the dumpster.
Yeah, that she blew up.
She blew it up.
She's got dumpsters to spare.
Yeah, come on. She's a space witch. She could make a dumpster if she needs to.
She's a space witch on a space moon palace that she made.
It was just there, right?
Maybe it was already there.
We never know. We're never told how the space palace.
The only thing, and this is sort of
exists.
your theory, is that the earthquake
was her making.
Was just it. Her making the castle was so powerful that it shook the earth.
Yeah, that's better than just a random earthquake because Rita got away.
That's way better. Yeah. An earthquake was an excuse to evacuate everyone from the juice bar.
Yeah, that is the reason it exists.
That's the story reason, or the plot reason.
It could also be the concentrated evil of Rita is released from the space dumpster, which then shakes the earth.
Right, and it took a minute because it had to go from the meteor all the way to space.
Yeah, it can't
space.
travel faster than light, so it takes that amount of time to get there. Sure.
Yeah, I'll buy it.
Whatever.
It's Power Rangers. They're about to go fight a gold wolf bear.
Right.
So, I mean, I'll take anything. Speaking of gold wolf bears, that's our dragon, who is your evil Lancer. The dragon is like, it's your number one gun. He's, I need you to go hurt somebody. You send your dragon. Right. I'm too important to go there and potentially get killed myself. Goldar, you do it. And he's super loyal, even though she cuts his wings off screen, sort of, because he has them in the beginning and then he never has them again.
He gets them back.
Well, he gets
it's not
them
that
back,
he never has them again,
but he just doesn't have them anymore.
He loses them in this battle. Okay,
but they're not cut off. They're not.
Yes, they are. Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
All right. Whoa. Well, look, I need to make it make sense, or else I'm gonna fall out. I don't want to fall out of Power Rangers.
Right. Yeah.
So, they were so badly damaged that Rita had to get rid of them.
She had to amputate.
Yes.
Or else
he would have got.
They would got infected.
Gang gold. And he would.
I'll allow it. So then your evil genius is Finster, I would say.
Finster is the evil genius.
Because he makes your monsters.
His competition is Squatter Babu.
Right. I mean, Babu is sort of a scientist, but he's also Babu.
He's also an idiot.
So Finster makes the monsters out of clay.
You can tell he's super smart because he's got glasses.
Yep.
And he talks in a more fancy way.
Yeah, he has a bit of an affected accent. It's not really English, but it's like rich
foreign.
New England.
Yeah.
I would say, which is where Josh and I are from.
Yep.
So we've heard that in person, probably.
Like we've heard people who really talk like that.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, he makes your monsters. He has a couple molds pre-made for putties because he doesn't want to make a putty every time.
Right. If you had to craft a putty every time, that would defeat the whole point of putties.
Right. Yeah. So that's why they're not as good because he's just like, let me roll this up, slap them in there.
Right. It's just a mold. It's a cookie cutter.
Yeah.
It's not...
Then he throws them in the Monster-matic. About 10 seconds will do, and then out pop putties. Later on, he makes other monsters out of clay, and there's a disconnect between what I'm sure is the Japanese version, where he makes them, and they're new, and then the American version where he makes them, but they've always been monsters in her catalog.
Wasn't that catalog from the Japanese footage?
Yeah, but I feel like the explanation of like, because they always refer to like, oh, what do you think about Melon Brain or Pumpkin Wrapper?
I want to
like,
watch Zyu Ranger because now I'm back on board to writing my reboot of Power Rangers that is basically the same but fixes some weird stuff.
Right.
Like this would be Rita's sketchbook, so she gets an idea for a weird monster, draws it, and then shows Finster.
Yeah.
And makes him make a real one.
That might be the Zyu Ranger version.
That's what I want to watch. I go watch Zyu Ranger.
Yeah, you can find it.
Yeah.
Find it somewhere.
Definitely that one.
At the very least, yeah. But then, like, in the American footage, it seems like it's just monsters that she's had in her army forever,
right.
You know? Like, when they're like, oh, what about Venus Flytrap? That might be a Zed monster. I don't know.
Yeah,
I know sure. Pumpkin Wrapper is. Pudgy Pig. What about Pudgy Pig? Oh, he'll work nicely for this. It's not like Finster had an idea for a pig monster that eats everything. I need you to make it. It's like, oh, make another Pudgy Pig.
Yeah,
you know, like
all right.
or
well, there are a few later on who aren't made by Finster. One of them I want to talk about while we're going through this, but that'll be when we get there.
So,
but there are a couple monsters who are like one of them's dormant on Earth. Rita wakes her up.
Yeah,
like
that's the way I would have gone with it, but like you can't marry the two stories without because if it was like they're all dormant, then why does he have? Because in the first episode he just got extra ones laying around, like he's just got a Pudgy Pig and like a crab
there's
guy.
like a table full of clay figures he's made already.
And some of them
he's just waiting
are
to
moving,
fire them up.
So like the clay is magic maybe, and that's why
maybe.
Because, like, some of them are moving. They have, like, arms that move and, like, jaws, maybe.
Yeah, you're right. That's weird. It's a weird thing.
Yeah. It's a fun fact.
Anyway. Finster's the evil genius.
He's the evil genius. The Brute, I'm going to have to give to Babu.
I have a different idea for the Brute. But
Is it also Goldar?
Nope.
Scorpina. Scorpina might be the dragon in the strictest sense, then. Because she only shows up when they're, like... We're not messing around right now.
Right.
We need Scorpina to mess some stuff up, and that would make Goldar the Brute.
Well, define the
Brute?
Brute?
The Brute is you're not very smart, does whatever he's told, has big fists, ain't afraid to use them guy.
That would make Goldar the Brute.
That would make Goldar the Brute.
And that would make Scorpina the dragon.
Which is weird.
And then Squat and Babu would be the Dark Chicks.
The Dark Chicks together.
The useless ones.
The Dark Chick and the Tag-Along Kid.
Right.
But the evil Tag-Along Kid.
Right.
The Tag-Along Jerk. I don't know. So Scorpina isn't in this episode, so we won't talk about her. She's pretty cool, though.
She comes up pretty early,
pretty
I think.
soon.
Yeah.
5, 6 maybe.
We'll figure it out. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yep. But Squat is the official explanation of Squat. Is the combination of a warthog and a blueberry. So
does that mean that Rita had these two things and just combined them with her space wand?
I don't know if that's just like what Haim Saban
or is that
used to describe him.
To describe the way he looks.
Yeah, because like I don't see. I mean, okay. To be fair, the only warthog I know about is Pumbaa. So.
Well, he's got like.
He does have a jowl, and he's got some tusks, and he's blue and lumpy.
And he's blue and round.
Yeah, so, like, I get it. I can see it. His main role, if you can believe it, is infiltrator. He's the guy that sneaks into Trini's room and makes Mr. Ticklesneezer a bad guy.
But that's the only example of that.
There are others.
Him and Babu throughout Mighty Morphin will be the guys who go and get an item sneakily. Like
and Babu is one of the Wicked Witch of the West's flying monkeys with a human face.
Yeah, and no wings.
And instead of no wings, and instead of flying, he rides a penny farthing, which is one of those.
No,
weird...
Rita rides that.
He rides one later.
Does he?
It might be the same one.
Maybe
he might
it's
be borrowing hers.
Yeah, just borrow her wheels.
Penny farthing, if you don't know, is one of those weird Victorian bikes. With
penny farthing sounds like a verb. Sounds like a thing you would do.
Right,
you would penny farth.
I'm gonna go penny farth. It's not, though. It's a bike with a big wheel in the front, and a little tiny baby wheel in the back. I don't know how it stays up. I just have no idea. Maybe there's 2 tiny baby wheels in the back.
It's like a unicycle with a training wheel.
Yeah. Never thought of it like that. Oh, man. I'm never going to see those the same again. Or I'll never see a unicycle and be like, hey, man, you should just get a training wheel for that.
Get a penny farthing instead.
Get a penny farthing. It's way more impressive.
That's all 5, right?
That's all 5.
Because Dark Chick, I imagine, is just a useless villain on the team.
It's basically, it's the girl who, I wish I could think of an example. But it's just, it's usually like the girl who's
Psycho
just like.
Pink, right?
Yeah, Psycho Pink, where she just gets mad at everybody and is more like, they might defect, maybe not,
Yeah.
you know. It's basically just the chick, but dark. That's why it's the Dark Chick, doesn't have its own name.
Right.
You know? The other thing for the dragon might be the weekly monsters.
That could be, too.
In which case, Scorpina does kind of fall under that.
Scorpina is king of the dragons.
King of the dragons. She is...
She's the little queen of the dragons.
She is Blue Eyes White Dragon. She's silver. Or she's gold.
She's gold.
And she's an ugly scorpion monster. But then a pretty good looking lady.
She and Golda are married in Zahu Ranger.
Yep.
It's weird.
That is weird.
Scorpina's a weird thing that I can't wait to talk about later.
Yes,
because I want to talk about it right now, but she's coming up.
She's coming up, yeah. So those are our main bad guys. Then we have our 4 supplementary characters, which are Human Squat, Bulk, Bulk and Skull, and Alpha and Zordon,
and Ernie.
Ernie
plays a pretty big role.
He does. He doesn't know yet, but he, in canon, figures out that they're the Power Rangers.
Yeah, that's why all their juice is always on that house.
Free, and that's why he almost goes bankrupt 1 million times. Which, I mean, I kind of like that, because if anyone's going to figure it out, it's going to be like the guy who's always there when they're like, we got to go.
Yeah.
You know? And who, like, trouble always shows up, and then they're not around, and, you know, like, it makes sense. But then Bulk and Skull are basically 2 villains that the characters can deal with when they're humans.
Yeah.
It's, so, Jason Narvi, National Treasure Jason Narvi is Skull, and then Paul Schreier is Bulk.
Schreier?
Schreier? I
say Schreier because it flows out of my mouth better.
I say Schreier because it's IE.
But if he hears this...
Paul, if you're listening.
And you correct me, I'll start saying it right.
Just tweet me, JJ_Mason. Or JNix04.
Yeah.
NICS04.
04.
Oh, yes, 04.
Always the letters, you gotta be specific.
You're right. Whenever I'm saying a phone number, I say 0 for that reason. They are, in real life, best friends, which just tickles my heart.
Because of Power Rangers. They didn't know each other before they were on the show together.
But basically, they start out as 2 punk bullies, and they are 2, like, leftover 80s punks.
Yeah.
Pretty hard. I would say that they're a year older than the Power Rangers, but I don't know.
Well, I mean...
Because originally the Power Rangers were seniors, and then they kept going, and then they were freshmen again.
They were freshmen.
Yeah. For 4 years.
For 4 years, and then they graduated.
And then they graduated. The timeline gets screwy because it gets so popular.
Right.
Because it was a phenomenon.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you can't predict that kind of thing.
No, you can't.
It was more highly rated than Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
So
Power Rangers was the hottest thing on TV.
For a long time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Power Ranger stuff out there that even we don't know about. And I'm something of an expert.
We're going to have to fix that.
Yeah.
I wish I could ask you for examples, but you don't know about them.
Know.
So.
Like, I know there's, like, I was in the fan club when I was a kid, and there was, like, a video that came with it. I think the video...
It's a bonus feature. I watched it.
It's a bonus feature now, yeah.
Yep,
I had
neat.
that VHS. It came with, like, a certificate saying I'm an honorary Power Ranger. It came with, which I wish I still had. You don't know what you got till it's gone.
Right.
My old dog Junker, who I miss dearly. She was a great dog, about 15 times my size, but thought she was a lap dog. She chewed up my Dragon Zord, and so now I wish I could just go back in time and just steal my Dragon Zord right before Junker starts chewing on it.
Right.
And then so instead of like, oh, my Dragon Zord's all ruined, I just, oh, I lost my Dragon Zord. rats. But then now I would have my Dragon Sword and it could hang out with my Megazord, you know. But yeah, but then like I wish I had that certificate. It came with like pencils, Power Rangers pencils, maybe some of the trading cards, which I had just about all of them.
I had a set of them that were like those ones that when you move them, the picture changes depending on what angle you view it from.
Not holographic.
Yeah,
but
you know what I mean. I don't know.
The lenticular.
That's
yep, the
I had
word.
a set of them that was like, you know, here's Kimberly. And
now it's a Pink Ranger.
Now it's Pink Ranger, and
yeah. I still have like buckets and buckets of Power Rangers toys that my dad keeps threatening to throw out, and I'm like, just put it in the house. It's fine.
Right.
I have a bunch of the action figures that if you pull their belt down, their head will flip. They will morph, but just their head.
I had at least the Green Ranger.
I had all of them. I have in my possession currently just Jason, because that's the only one I found when I was looking for him.
No, I had at least two of them, because there's a picture of me. This is great. I hope my mom still has it, because I want it now. There's a picture of me. I've got a Power Rangers like sweatshirt on. And, like Power Rangers Zubas. So you know, like the original like artwork, I guess, for the Power Rangers, where they're all drawn a little bit awkwardly in fighting positions. It has those all over the pants, and I'm holding up Jason and Tommy.
Yeah,
and I'm wicked excited.
I have a lot of pictures of me with various Power Rangers accoutrements. My two favorites, and I will post them in the description, in the episode description. We have some sort of link to them. But the first one is my favorite picture of me ever. It's me when I'm 5 years old. Maybe I'm 4. No, it's 5. Holding up the Megazord box like I am Indiana Jones and I have just got the Holy Grail. Like here's the story. You've probably heard it a million times, but these people haven't. So So when I was 5, all I wanted was the Megazord for Christmas. That was my entire list. It just said Megazord. But it was a full page. It just list. Number 1, Megazord. No number 2. That's it. Unfortunately for me, every other 5-year-old boy wanted a Megazord as well. They were the Tickle Me Elmo of that year. And to be more accurate, Tickle Me Elmo was the Megazord of its year.
Yes.
The Furby was the Megazord of that year. The toy craze, I am convinced, started with the Megazord. So I'm from New Hampshire. I'm from a small town in New Hampshire, in the south of New Hampshire, called Ringe. You don't need to look for it. You don't find it.
There's nothing there. Anyway.
There's a Walmart. That's it.
And Earl's.
The time, definitely go to Earl's. Sandwich Master Plus.
Yes.
It's on the way to Jaffrey, which is another town there's nothing in. But anyway, so we lived, I don't know if we lived in Jaffrey still or if we'd moved to Ringe. No, if I'm 5, we lived in Ringe. So there isn't even a Walmart built yet, because Walmart didn't come around until I was, no, maybe it was around. I don't know. Either way, it was out. Everything was out. My parents went all over the state trying to find a Megazord. They went all over Massachusetts. They went all over Vermont, because that's the 3 states that are accessible. My mom had word out to everyone she had ever met that if you see a Megazord, you buy it for me, and I will pay you back, because we need it. Because my mom and my dad didn't. They were worried, and this is up until like the 22nd of December. They were trying to figure out a way to explain to me.
This sounds an awful lot like the plot to a movie that I love.
Which movie? Christmas Story?
Jingle All the Way?
Jingle All the Way. It's based on it. I didn't write that movie, but I mean...
That movie's based on Megazord.
Yeah, pretty much. So they up until like the 22nd, maybe a little earlier, but it was mid to late December. My parents were trying to figure out a way to explain to me why Santa couldn't get me the only thing on my list. So they were nervous wrecks.
I can't imagine the person you would be right now.
Me either.
If this went any differently.
Here's what happened. My Uncle Mitch, R.I.P. in peace, Uncle Mitch, Saint Mitch, old Saint Mitch, worked at or didn't work at. He owned a mini mart in northern New York, in somewhere in upstate New York. One of the kids that worked for him also worked at a Kmart. And so my Uncle Mitch was one of the people on alert for the Megazord. And so the kid who worked for him called him up from Kmart and was like, we have one Megazord left. You need to come down here right now because I will get fired if I'm caught hiding this. Right. So my Uncle Mitch drove to Kmart, got the Megazord, express mailed it overnight to my dad's work. And this is why I think that it was like the 21st or 2nd that he found it. Because he overnighted it to my dad's work with both the shipping address and the return address as my dad's work. So if it got lost, it only had one place to go. They got it either on the 23rd or Christmas Eve, and then I had the best Christmas any kids ever had. I don't know where to go from there. That's my Power Rangers story. That's my big one.
That sums you up.
Yeah.
That explains a lot of things about who you are.
Like, I mean, I can't even imagine that. Like,
I mean, I don't know. I don't have any super interesting Christmas stories like that. I don't have any super interesting Power Ranger stories like that either.
I have one more, and I should tell it later because the Green Ranger's in it. But it has nothing to do with the show itself, so I'll tell it now. When I was 6 maybe, the Power Rangers were doing a special appearance at Pizza Haven. Okay? This was huge. The Power Rangers, who were still real. They were real people to me. I was watching a documentary every day at 4 o'clock, they were going to be at the pizza place in my town, in Ringe, New Hampshire, which is only on a map of my county, not actually on a map of New Hampshire. Like, it's on some, but just as like a dot. It says Ringe, and there's no boundaries, and you don't know what it like, it might just be a lake. You don't know.
Right.
So obviously I was like, Mom, we have to do this. We have to go see I need to meet the Power Rangers, or else my life is over. So we went there, and the Power Rangers were there, but only 3 of them. Only Billy, Kimberly, and Tommy. And not Billy, Kimberly, and Tommy. The Green Ranger, the Pink Ranger, and the Blue Ranger.
Right.
And so I went to the Green Ranger, who I was just best friends with automatically. Because like, dude, I know him. I know who he really is.
Come on.
Like,
right.
We're obviously going to be friends, So I'm like, where's Jason and Zach and Trini? And this dude is one smooth operator. Like, I wish I knew who was this guy so I could shake his hand for keeping this alive. Because he could have said, I'm a guy in a suit, idiot. Like, like, and just crushed 6-year-old me. But instead, what he said was, oh, they're off fighting Rita. There's a monster attack, and so they went to fight that so we could still come here for you guys. And I was like, oh, of course.
Right.
Obviously, that's why they're not here. Not because Pizza Haven can only afford 3 Rangers.
Sometimes things like this restore a little bit of the faith in humanity I've lost.
Right.
From working in retail.
Oh, man. And, like, I don't know. I wish I knew who these people were, just so I could, like, buy them dinner and be like, hey, you are super important to me. Like,
I met the Red Ranger one time. I don't remember it. I was really little, and I don't remember things from recent times. So I have a picture of it somewhere, and as a kid, I bought it, but looking at the picture, it's ridiculous because this guy, it's obviously a guy in a suit, but it's like a super cheap suit.
Oh, it's like one of those Superman suits with like the muscles built in?
No, it's even like worse than that.
Oh.
But the helmet isn't a human head size. It's giant and like sits on his shoulders.
And you're like, dude, Rita messed you up.
And there's a picture of tiny little 7, maybe 8-year-old me. I don't know what year it was in. I think I still have a mullet at that point.
So who knows? I could anytime in the 90s.
Just thumbs up in the camera. And it's in a giant. The frame is a giant $1 million bill, because I got it at a local carnival.
Nice.
In Athol, Massachusetts.
Nice. The other picture, I just remembered I said there were 2 pictures of me that were particularly great. I'll have to have my mom scan it. Well, one of them is scanned. My mom needs to scan the Megazord picture. The other picture is me on en route to my first day of kindergarten. So I'm reaching for my door. I've got Power Rangers sweatshirt, a Power Rangers t-shirt, Power Rangers pants on, sweatpants, Power Rangers sweatpants. I don't know how, but I have them. I'm wearing Power Rangers shoes. I guarantee you I am wearing Power Rangers skivvies. I think my socks could go either way, but it's safe to assume they're just regular white socks. But who knows? Maybe they're Power Rangers socks. I got a Power Rangers backpack. I have a Power Rangers lunchbox and a Power Rangers thermos in that backpack. If you look in the back, there is a trash can. Like, you know those like novelty trash cans? It's just like, it's a circle and it's tin.
Yeah.
It might have been a popcorn can.
Right.
I don't know if they still make those. So if you're a kid listening, you might not get that.
They do. I think they exclusively sell through Scouts.
Or like at like
or school fundraisers. Yeah.
It's like a Power Rangers popcorn can. In the picture, it looks like I have action figures standing up, but it's just it's a trash can. There are just Power Rangers littered throughout the picture. There was nothing else in my life until I was at least 10 when I started watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's the gap I made. It was Power Rangers, and like I watched other things, obviously, like, you know, Beetleborgs and Mystic Knights with Tyrannog and VR Troopers, because they were also Saban. And I think that's very telling of me that, like, when I was 5 years old, I was like, oh, this production company makes Power Rangers. I should watch these other things. But, like, then it was, like, that and cartoons and Ninja Turtles and stuff. And then it was, like, 10 years old, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Right.
And then, you know, from there on. But, yeah, so I will try to get those 2 pictures. I will put them in the description so you can see how goofy I am.
Yeah, I know I have that picture of me and the Red Ranger.
Do you have it here?
Yeah, it's here.
Oh, nice.
Because I remember it's in one of those totes.
Right. Both of us just recently moved to Austin, Texas from New England.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have my Megazord that watches out over me, and I have my flippy head Red Ranger, and that's all the Power Rangers toys I have here.
As far as toys go, I think the Anniversary Legacy Morpher is all I got with me.
Oh, I also have that, because we're the baddest dudes in Revere.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're adult men who both graduated college.
There was a half second where we were almost sure that they worked.
Right. Oh yeah, that first time.
We drove to and called the same Toys R Us for weeks.
Every day for weeks. Like,
until they finally got 3 in and were good enough to hold all 3 of them for us.
Yeah, and like we were at my house when we called, which is a good 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
From the Toys R Us, which is the only Toys R Us within an hour and a half. Anyway, so yeah, so they held them for us, and this is the exact conversation. Hi, do you have any of the Power Rangers Legacy Morphers? Yep, we have 3 in. Can you hold them? All of them? Yes, all of them. My name is Jake. We'll be there in an hour. The third one was for another friend of mine.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, I don't just need 2. You know, I don't need my shelf copy. Or
right.
The one I take to work.
Right.
But yeah, then we morphed.
I had to drive home, so I didn't open mine yet. Jake opened his.
No, we opened them at my house because we went from my house.
No,
back
yours.
To my house. Yours
was open in the car because as we were driving home.
Oh, you mean you were driving?
I was driving back.
You were not driving to your house.
You were in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
And you and you put the Tyrannosaurus coin in. And you went through the motion, and for half a second it was just like, what if that just worked? What if either A, he was gone, or B, he's sitting there in a Power Ranger suit? What would I do? I would have pulled the car over, and I would have morphed.
Oh man!
And then we would have been superheroes. We would have been Power Rangers.
I don't know how to handle that. So, moral of the story, kids. Never stop believing.
No, hang on to your
dreams.
Your dreams.
I don't have anything else to talk about except for the plot where the Power Rangers shirk responsibility. Not the fact that a giant floating head is telling them they need to fight monsters and robots.
Right.
They're just like, whoa, man, that's a lot of responsibility.
Right.
And
I'm cool with the rest of this stuff.
Right. The rest of it's fine. I understand the robot. I understand that you're a giant head in a jar. But I have a lot of homework. I'm a gymnast. Can't do it. Gotta go. Better walk in the desert.
There's a thing that happens with me every once in a while is when I'm reading a review of something written by someone who loves that thing, I get this grander vision of it in my head.
That happens every week with wrestling.
Yeah.
With me.
But, so, like, if you're listening to this, you're like, oh, man, all this, like, undertone stuff, everything that we're talking about, like, you know, how Tree needs the translator, they never say that. It's just a thing that constantly happens. So you're like, oh, man, Power Rangers is really deep. But you're going to watch it, and you're going to be like, oh, this is still a goofy show.
It's still goofy.
So just to kind of bring you back down to that level of, man, this is still a really goofy show with low production values. At the end...
there's a freeze frame freeze frame jump 5.
Yes, this is even before that.
Oh, okay.
Zordon's like, they finally accept they're going to be Power Rangers because they chased Goldar off.
Right.
In the three stages of hell: unmorphed battle with putties, morph battle with monster.
3 stages of heck.
The 3 stages of heck.
That's fine.
Okay. So there's the unmorphed battle with the putties, morph battle with the monster, giant battle with the robots.
Right.
With Megazord versus a giant monster.
That's the menu every week.
Yep. So they go back to the command center, and their friend's like, fine, we'll be Power Rangers or whatever, I guess.
I mean, once you drive a Megazord, you gonna turn that down? You gonna return that?
Yeah. No, they're super pumped when they get back.
Yeah.
Like, we just saved the world! What? And so they're like, yeah, we'll be Power Rangers. And Zordon's like, he's trying to have this super deep, like, yes, the world needs you and you need each other.
Right.
And next to Zordon are these 2 pylons with these rings of light that, you know, they go up.
It's like Christmas lights that are on like not a timer, but like they blink in a pattern.
Yeah.
But it's like that, but rings.
And it looks like the light's moving up.
Yeah.
The way that they blink. The top one on Zordon's right, which would be your left looking at the TV, is out.
Yeah.
Like part of it is not lit.
So there's Power Rangers.
So that's Power Rangers.
Also, there's 3 rules. The 3 rules of plot convenience, which are never use your powers for personal gain, never escalate a battle until Rita does, and never reveal your identities.
Right.
This is literally because in the Japanese footage, they never escalate a battle. Like, they don't have extra footage to just show them. Like, because
not yet.
Because ZU2 is. Yeah, that's way
I'll have
later.
to look up when that starts.
After episode 40, after Cyclopsis. Everything between Cyclopsis and the Thunder Megazords is brand new footage.
Well, not everything, but there is brand new footage mixed in with Japanese footage.
I'm pretty sure it's all new.
We'll have to look.
I'm pretty sure it's all new just because there's 40 episodes in ZU Ranger 2.
But also in the new footage that they shoot specifically for the American show, Yellow Ranger's still a dude.
Well, continuity. So at least they got that.
I guess.
It's a slimmer dude, but it's a dude.
Still obviously.
Anyway, so I think the reason for this is because they don't have any footage of them jumping into the Megazord and stomping a putty.
Right.
Like, and they can't show extra stuff.
They couldn't be if.
It's also because Power Rangers is about responsibility.
Well, yeah. If they every time they had to fight a putty, if they jumped into the Megazord and stomped him,
where's the drama?
They wouldn't be good people.
That's Bulk and Skull.
That's what Bulk and Skull would do in a fight.
Which they become Power Rangers in a dream sequence later, and it's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Especially after we get past the first 4 or 5. Once we get rolling, it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Should be good now. Hopefully you enjoyed this.
We salvaged this episode pretty good, so I'm back on board.
So we're just gonna wrap it up. I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
This is the Morphin Grid. If you like what you heard and have extra money, maybe donate it to us.
Yeah.
Because things cost money. Podcasts have a upkeep. We're not saying, hey, donate to us. We're saying, because, dude, I'm poor.
It's just, look, okay, guys.
It's a free podcast. It's always going to be free. I guarantee you will never have to pay for this podcast. But if you have some extra money and you really enjoy us, we'll have some sort of perk system worked out. We'll definitely thank you on air. whole bunch of stuff. Hopefully there'll be an episode every week. That we're recording this. We're gonna record a batch of them first.
Yeah, we're gonna have like a stockpile of 10 to start with. So if we miss a week, we can still have something to release.
Right. So you might email us at the provided link that doesn't exist.
You might email us.
And we might get back to you in the email, but not mention it on the podcast. That's probably because we're 10 episodes behind where you emailed us, and we'll definitely get to it eventually. This has been the Morphin Grid. I had a lot of fun salvaging it because it was a little dark in the beginning.
I like that we just talked about Power Rangers this time. I'm hoping that the rest of the podcast can live up to this because it's just going to be us running down episodes.
I don't have any more good stories.
This is the introduction episode, so this is the perfect one to get the stories and just all the origin and all the weird facts and stuff out.
Right.
So this is good.
Like originally, Rita or Bandora in the Z Ranger version. This is just a final fun fact for you guys. The reason she's mad at the Z Rangers is because they killed her kid, or their tribes 10,000 years ago killed her kid, and now she wants revenge on them. That's been podcast.
Catch you guys next time.
And may the power protect you.
But he's basically like, these are the tributes. These are the tributes.
The
attributes. The greatest song. Whatever.
To the 74th annual Hunger Games.
Let's go dead air for a second.